Welcome back. It's Junior College Hard 90, and we are back for lucky episode number 8. As the season starts to wind down, it's getting real exciting. Excited to break down all of the matchups from last week and what's to come with these region tournaments with Noah Sharp on the bus today.
Man, it's crazy to think that we are already at this point of the season. I was joking with my wife the other day where she's like, "How much longer is left?" I go, "Well, there's usually 16 weeks." And she's like, "Well, what week are you working on?" I go, 14. Oh, there's only like 2 weeks left of the regular season that went until it's like officially postseason World Series time, which is the best time of year. So now all these games are going to mean more. Everyone's on edge, and we're starting to narrow down to who, the ultimate national champion is going to be at all three of these levels.
Yeah, we're finding out the real deal. So let's go ahead and dive in. With the season winding down, we'll start with the top of the NJCAA poll in D1, which had some drama this week, Noah. Walter State is your new number one, 49 wins, 15 in a row, and 8 first-place votes, which bumps LSU Eunice back, and the Bengals lost to Delgado, although it was only their 3rd loss of the season. And then on top of that, the Texas schools of Blinn and Weatherford got leapfrogged by Cowley, who put up 28 runs in 2 games against Butler. So of all of that, what was the biggest surprise to you?
Really, like we kind of said, these games all mean more. I was really struggling myself on where to put with that LSU Eunice loss, but I was like, they only have 3. Like they still only have 3 losses on the year, so I left them at 1 for me, and I have Walter State 2, and they've kind of been that 1-2 punch for me probably for the last 6 weeks. Cowley made a big jump for me as well. I mean, that was it, the KJCAC conference, that tournament is one of my favorites, just how it's set up. All Texas is coming down to the wire. We'll talk about that here in a second, but it's getting crazy all over the country, and that only means it gets more fun for us over here.
Yep, so Walter State back to that top spot in the NJCAA poll. You mentioned it. We've also been monitoring Region 5 all year long, and just when it looked like Midland had the WJCAC wrapped up, New Mexico takes 3 of 4 against the Chaps, and they move to 1 game back of the new conference leader, Odessa. That series was incredible. Lane Arroyos was 6 for 13 with a double, a homer, and 4 RBIs. And on top of that, he threw an inning and 2/3 scoreless on the mound in Game 2. And then how about the massive 7-inning shutout by Donovan Becerra? 7 Ks, 1 walk, 3 hits allowed in the 1-0 win. So that series changes everything in that conference. What could change in the final week of the season?
Basically, no one saw a lot of these teams being as good as they were and just how competitive it was going to be. So basically, it boils down to here's the rundown. So bear with me, people. We did a little bit of bracketology, I guess you could say. So as of right now, Odessa and NJC, they play each other this weekend. I believe if Odessa takes 2, they stay at 1. But if NJC takes 3 or sweeps, then they're the 1. And then, like we said last week, that 4 spot where Howard was the 4, but they're kind of the lock. Well, now El Paso swept last week, and now they're playing, I believe, Frank. Yeah, El Paso has Frank this weekend, who's one of the bottom teams, while Howard has NEMI, or New Mexico Military. And if you know anything about that field, it's a really weird field to play on. It's an awesome looking field. Like it's a great environment. It's a great field. It's just kind of like the lighting. It's just funky if you're not used to it. So really, I think that puts El Paso, they're 1 game up on El Paso or on Howard right now, which really puts that in El Paso's favor, especially how El Paso's played this back half of the season. There's a hot, cold, hot theory. El Paso started really hot, struggled in the middle, and then they're getting hot again. So that's kind of a dangerous thing to play, and they've really played playoff baseball the last month and a half because they started so bad in conference that they've had to win to even get into this spot. Then on the other side, McLennan's there at 3. Even if they split with North Central this weekend, which I don't think they will, they're still going to kind of be there at 3. And then this is where it gets fun. So Cisco has Ranger, who's at the bottom of the conference there. Vernon, again, playing Weatherford. So Vernon could really mess things up if Vernon sweeps or Vernon takes more than they should. They're going to really push Weatherford down and them up. But then, I really think it's going to end up being Cisco at the 4 there. So the likely opening matchups for this whole region, and I love how they redid it. You have the number 1, the 1 and 2 from each side, host the 3-4 from the other side. Best of 3. Then the next week, I believe it's the highest seeded West team remaining hosts. And so You're going to have, I think it's probably going to be either Midland and Odessa hosting Cisco, the other one of them hosting McLennan. Then you're going to have Weatherford hosting Midland, which that's going to be a crazy matchup for a 2-3. And then Grayson hosting El Paso, which that's a drive for El Paso. If you know anything about the great state of Texas, those are literally the opposite corners of the state. But hey, that's what makes that conference or region so awesome, that it covers such a wide span in one state, or two states, I guess. But yeah, that's a lot to say. Chaos is happening. Chaos is going to happen. And probably the thing we don't think that's going to happen is going to happen.
So if you remember anything from that rant, just that last sentence is all you need. Chaos is going to happen. Texas has been really exciting. And meanwhile, Florida Division I teams have had a rough week. Indian River State tumbles to 11 with a loss to Miami-Dade. And then Northwest Florida drops 3 spots after a 4-game split with Tallahassee, which vaults Flodar back into the top 10. Tough time this season to start to cool down, Noah.
Yeah, like we said, games right now mean more, but also you lose those last couple games going into the postseason, you're gonna not want that to be the way it ends. I know, who was it? State College of Florida beat Florida Southwestern, which is a kind of a huge midweek upset there, but not really. Both have been ranked all year, or for the majority of the back half of the year, and I think how the seeding goes, they could face each other in the opening round of the bracket play for Florida, because Florida Southwestern has the one there, and I think it's South State College of Florida versus Northwest Florida, I think, is the matchup that would face it. So it's just, those teams are going to be vying not to end that way. I really think this could be a year where chaos could happen. I mean, we've said chaos. There's the name of the episode, freaking chaos everywhere. But State College of Florida has played really strong. Indian River State has played really strong. Florida Southwestern has finally kind of jumped and become that team in Florida. So I could see there being not your normal out of Florida team, not the Northwest Florida, not the Central Florida, obviously no Chipola, not Miami-Dade, even though they're the 7 on the other side. But it's just, I could see one of those 3 teams. Granted, it's the 1, the 3, and the 6, so not the lowest seeds, but I could see those 3 really taking a jump in Florida and kind of making a great name. I said it on mine. I would love to see the great, probably one of my favorite jersey combinations in that purple and teal in Grand Junction. I just think it would be sick. And yeah, we got other stuff we got to get to, but it's chaos, and it's going to be awesome, and Florida's going to be crazy, and it's the best time of year.
Yeah, picking up in Division II as well, the biggest movers in the D2 poll were Blackhawk College. They jumped from 16 to 11 with their 2-game sweep of number 4 Madison, who slipped all the way down to 12th. So the Braves aren't a team that we've talked much about, but they're hitting .330 as a team through their 52 games. And sophomores Colton Musgrave and Jeremy Cardona are each reaching base at better than .520 apiece. So what do you make of the late push this season from Blackhawk?
So the crazy thing is, right, you're talking about how well they're hitting, how well those 2 guys are getting on base. I was actually talking with the Southeastern coaches about this, because I was like, hey, what am I missing here? And they basically said Blackhawk is a team, they've got good hitters, obviously. The pitching is what their strength is, which is wild to say with how good the offense is actually doing. But the pitching is what's going to get you places, especially this time of year. You need that pitching, and just hope your bats stay hot. I think they jumped into the top 10 for the first time for me this year. I think I had them at 8 or 9, but that was a team where it really surprised me. Even though they beat Madison, it was that series against Southeastern Iowa that I was just like, that's the game that's kind of more impressive, just because of Southeastern, what they've played in the last 2 national titles, I'm pretty sure, or at least one of the last 2 years. And so it's a team that's been there, done that, and one of the top teams in the country year in and year out, and they blank them. So, I mean, this is the time of year to get hot.
Yeah, also in D2, East Central lost some ground against Pearl River, splitting against Mississippi Gulf Coast and Northwest Miss. South Florida State and Pitt made jumps after impressive weeks. And then we talked about that South Mountain and Pima game. Pima demolished South Mountain last Friday, 12-0 the final in that one. But what else caught your eye in D2?
So we finally had a postseason tournament happen. Alabama's done. Wallace Dothan won it over there in Region 22. They're awaiting the great winner of Florida, which I think is going to be Pasco Hernando State. Wallace Dothan, a really young team, really talented, but really young. So really struggled out the gates, but then just caught stride come conference play. I think that was one of the teams where we were like, is there anything to worry about? And I was like, I don't know. We'll see in conference. I don't know. We'll see in conference. Well, they got to conference and they figured it out. But that's just, how they swept through the tournament, beat Enterprise State twice. It's just, we're finally in postseason play where teams are going to get eliminated and games are going to happen and they're going to mean something, and your season could end in a day. And I mean, the first one to win this year, you can at least say Wallstow won the first regional of the year.
Yep, on to Division 3. The Niagara train keeps rolling. A perfect 41-0 with 5 games left. Century and Herkimer have put together really impressive seasons, but all of those teams still sit behind the defending champ RCSJ Gloucester in the NJCAA poll. So can the Roadrunners defend again, or is this SUNY Niagara team or maybe another team in that D3 ranking hot enough to catch up?
So Eastville would be mad if I didn't say that they could do it again. Granted, I think they've lost to Gloucester the last 2 national titles, which is crazy. But I mean, Niagara right now, they're 41-0. There's 5 games left. I mean, LSU Shreveport, we mentioned it last week. They just broke the 4-year record. They have not broken the overall record. That's still a junior college record to be held, 57-0. But we're going to have to wait a few weeks on that one. But I think if anyone can do it, Gloucester, it's that team, that they've been there, they've done that. So it's just who can knock off the big dog. I've had Niagara 1 all year. I really liked what I saw, but it's like a 1A and a 1B. Both have 2 very different styles of play, very different just dynamics. And hey, if those 2 end up facing in Auburn, there we go. I remembered it off the top of my head. But if they face in Auburn, it's going to be a game where, hey, ESPN, like, this has got to be, I get it. It's Division III junior college baseball. I don't care. All these guys are going to come out and throw 90. All these guys are going to hit crazy. Like, it's going to be a very good game, just on the mound, from the coaches, from the players. Like, the guys know what to do. There's talent all over. There's tons of Division I talent all over that field. And it's if they face off in Auburn, it's just going to be, that's probably going to be the marquee matchup. And granted, if they both make it, they're going to be the 1 and 2, and it'll be that winner game final probably. But I mean, if anyone can, that would be. I mean, I lost my train of thought there, but I mean, Gloucester's got Cumberland's this weekend. That's a huge matchup. I think it's a top 10 matchup for me. I don't know where y'all had Cumberland's, but it's gonna be chaos. It's chaos, more chaos. Everyone gets chaos today.
Yeah, D3 JUCO baseball matters too. Really exciting stuff coming out of the Division III ranks. SUNY Niagara has really turned it on all season long, and hope that continues as we move towards postseason play. That wraps up our recap. We've got an upcoming segment on the way, so stay with us here on JUCO Hard 90. We tell you which matchups to tune into next week.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for 2-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
Good morning.
Why so serious? Great shot.
Car's 250. You got it.
Greenside bunker, land short.
Trust your line. There's plenty of green.
Breaks towards the water.
Lots of coaching today, huh? We're 1 up.
When you strive to be the best, you need the right insights. Zurich has insurance solutions and risk strategies to help prepare your business for tomorrow.
Welcome back, Junior College Hard 90. Zach McKinstry and Noah Sharp. We've got some big matchups on the way as we get ready to start some region championships across all 3 divisions. Let's start with D1, though. Odessa and New Mexico, the big matchup of this weekend as we still try and figure out what the heck's going on in Region 5. And then what's your top region championship early matchups as we move into this weekend?
So not going too big into the breakdown of all the regions, because that could be chaotic. I did it on mine. Thought it would be 10 minutes. I turned it into ranting about 30. So if you want to see the crazy breakdown, go over there and listen to that one. But Tennessee is going to be deep. I think Arizona this year is going to be really interesting. That's probably the one I'm going to key in on the most, because you have Southern Nevada, who's moving from region 18, 19, whichever region they were in. Now they're in Arizona. So they're hosting Yavapai, 3-game series. Then winner there has to face the winner of Cochise versus Central Arizona. I think all three, regardless of how that series goes, I think all of them are going to go the distance. They're all going to be 3-game series. They're all going to be very intense. I think this is where too you get the metal bats back in their hands because it's postseason play, which is going to change some crazy offensive numbers from some of those teams right now. Then you throw metal bats in their hands and let's just see what happens. But that's probably the one series or one region really that we haven't like touched in at all this episode that is probably going to be one to watch.
Oh yeah, and then did you have a prediction for Odessa and New Mexico?
I would love, well, I love both the staffs, love both the schools. I think when I started the year, I put them purposely at like 17 and 18 because I couldn't pick which one I liked more and which one was better. It was just like, I think I'm going to go New Mexico because I at least know it's a returning staff. But I mean, the fact that it's these two teams at the end and I'm still like, it's a coin flip. I mean, hey, can it be a split and Odessa gets the one and then we're just kind of still sitting here like, well, we don't know who's the better one in, and then the winner has to be decided to go to Grand Junction. Let's that be the decider of that one.
Yeah, either way it plays out, it's going to be deserved as we move to Division II upcoming matchups. St. John's River State against South Florida State in Division II of the FCSAA, and then Kankakee and Blackhawk, a big matchup on the D2 ranks as well.
So the St. John Rivers one, because I believe they're starting their tournament this week. It's not like the Division I side. It's 4 teams, double elimination, figure it out. St. John Rivers won the last 2 bids. They've been there, done that. But really, I think it's the other side. It's Pasco Hernando State's tournament to lose at this point. And then with Kankakee and Blackhawk, it's going to come down to pitching. You had Peyton Nix, I think how you say it, 7 and a thirds last week, 17 Ks with no walks. Like he's leading the country, I believe, right now. And again, like Tyler Matt leading the country, like he's leading the country in all divisions of junior college baseball in K-9, and it's like 16. It's a ridiculous number, and he doesn't walk people either. Purdue's getting a good one there. Then I can't think of any other thing going on in Division II. I don't know if the seeding for Mississippi is up yet or how that's shaping up. I know Region 2 still got their stuff kind of figuring out this last week, but we're getting to where things are going to get, like we said, it's going to get interesting.
Yep, and Pearl River, I think in Mississippi, is 2.5 games clear of second place in that conference, so they've pretty much locked up that number 1 spot. To Division III, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but RCSJ Gloucester against Cumberland this weekend.
I'm going to equate it. We're going to go back to Region 5. This has been a Region 5 heavy show. It's like when Howard and Midland play each other, or Odessa and Midland, probably a better comparison because they're in the same county. But it's just like they play each other so often. They've known each other, the history of each other for so long that it's the Red River rivalry. Like it's just, you throw any record book out and anything can happen, and it's 3 games, so you're not going to get a split, and it's just dog eat dog world. I know Cumberland's got a really good freshman pitcher. Gloucester obviously stacked to the brim like they always are, but it's going to be one of those series where kind of it's big brother meets little brother, and hey, we're gonna figure out who the dominating team here in Central New Jersey is going to be. So, or South Jersey, not Central, but it's going to be one. If I can find a stream, I will share it because this is going to be one that you're going to want to watch. Division III junior college baseball matters, and yeah.
Yep, getting into it. Regular season wrapping up. Postseason play getting started. Those are the big matchups to watch this weekend into next week, and we'll have more for you next Thursday. But for now, we come back in a moment with our Junior College Hard 90. A minute and a half for Noah Sharp to rant about junior college baseball and plenty to talk about, so we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
Welcome back in, Junior College Hard 90, and we've got the Hard 90 on the way. It's Noah Sharp with his Hartford hat. Talked about the Fighting Owls last week. That's the home of the men's lacrosse tournament next Saturday, so tune into that one. But for now, we're talking baseball, and it's Noah Sharp. Your 90 seconds start right now.
So let's make it two's a streak, right? Or three's a streak, but let's see if I can do it 2 weeks in a row. So another perfect game, back-to-back weeks. This one, not as big, I should say, but as big talent-wise, or not talent-wise, but impact-wise. Kai Fike from Central Arizona, perfect game, 5 innings, I believe it was 6 Ks, in a game against Arizona Western, which they had to win those games to get that 3 seed, because I think they were tied there at 3-4. So huge way to get that win. Luke Jacobs from Salt Lake, he hit for the cycle, but he hit for the home run cycle. So solo shot, 2-run shot, 3-run shot, grand slam. He also drove in 15 along the way and hit 444 on the weekend. So that's not a bat you want hot come regional play. Again, we mentioned it a bit earlier, but Peyton Nix, Kankakee, national leader in Ks and 9, struck out 17, only giving up 3 hits and no walks in a game. And then another big coaching milestone, Jeff Willis over at LSU Eunice got win 1100 in the final game of the regular season versus Delgado. That's just, again, the level is just as much about the coaches as it is about the players, but that's just, like we've said before, Eunice knows how to win, and they're going to figure out a way to win. And a lot of it has to do with the man that's leading that program. So yeah, I think I'm way under this week. That was way under.
Well, 1,100 wins is impressive no matter the level, and head coach Jeff Willis has done a great job with them. We'll see if it keeps up at this Division I level, and if they can make it to Grand Junction for the first time this year, which would be certainly exciting and a great storyline. But anyway, that wraps up the Hard 90, and that wraps up our show. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Reminder to watch all of those games that you can coming up this weekend as we move towards regional play. And you can follow Noah and I on Twitter to talk about NJCAA baseball as well. So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you back here next Thursday, and see you then.